Why I have beef with James Smith. And before I come on to that, I want to tell you a story. So back in 2021, you might remember I was on Married at First Sight. You might know me from this clip that went viral.
It's the bridesmaid, I think.
Wow. Hi, nice to meet you.
I'm Jay.
It's the bridesmaid, Adam. A false alarm.
So I want to paint a picture. So we filmed Married at First Sight for 2 months, and then we had about 3 months worth of waiting, and then when it was getting shown, we were watching it live whilst everyone else was watching it, and then I got sucked into it. Obviously, watching yourself on TV, it's crazy watching yourself on TV. And then I was listening to a podcast about it because I wanted to listen to what people's opinions were about it. And then I listened to this one podcast, and I'm going to play you the podcast, and I'll explain all of this, how it all ties in together and the point of the video in a minute. But I'm going to play it for you and you'll see.
He's my most fascinating one. Really? He is thick as mint. So dense. He's a lovely man, right? But he's just so dense. He's got the vibe, for me, right? He's got the vibe of a stable boy who's been kicked in the head by a horse. Do you know what I mean? That's the vibe he gives off. And I feel bad because he might listen to this, and he might listen and hear that, and I'd be sorry, but he'll not have a fucking clue what I'm saying, so it's fine. It doesn't matter. He's just really, it doesn't look like he fully understands what's going on. And throughout this week, there's been times where, I think
I know what you're referring to.
And when he does say, so we'll sort of come to that now as we talk about them as a couple, but when he does say, I love you, it's took us a couple of days to realise, but you know when Anchorman, when Steve Carell plays Brick Tamlin,
yes.
And he's like, I love lamp, I feel like he was looking at her, and that's why he said it, but it could have been anything.
He's not going to go on Mastermind.
I think he gets worse.
But
I don't think he could work sitting in the chair on Mastermind, let alone answer the questions I follow.
Oh man.
But the point of this video, so I thrive off shit like that. I was in the gym the other day, and I was going hard in the gym, and I was thinking about that, and it plays on my mind, and it drives me. Like the competition side of me, I am ultra competitive. You put me in a room with anyone, you give me any game to play, and I will thrive on competition. So I think about that quite a lot, because I think of this comedian absolutely ripping the shit out of me, and fair play. Like, he's got to talk about things to get views on his podcast. I understand that, but that gives me power. It gives me like an ability to actually push a lot harder in life, and to think, do you know what, like, I'm going to show you like how hard I can work, and like how I can actually achieve things. And I think about what he's actually doing now, probably washed up, barely doing anything, never heard a thing from him since. And I think, do you know what, I'm pushing hard, I'm working hard, and that sort of stuff gives me competition, and I absolutely love it. I grew up in a household with 2 brothers. I'm a middle child. I've got an older brother and a younger brother, and I love competition. And when you throw a competitive dad into the mix as well, like that just taught me to absolutely thrive off competition. And this is what I was getting to with the point of the video. If you can come up with competition in your life, it's called gamifying, and I know that's a term thrown about quite a lot, but if you can come up with areas in your life where you don't even have to tell people that you're competing with them, but if you can, like when I'm training in the gym with someone, like it makes me push harder, because it's like an unspoken law that you've got to try and outperform each other. Like CrossFit is a great example of that. You've got to push hard, and even though you're not competing against anyone else, you still want to win. But I do anyway, because I'm competitive. So the whole point of this video is to bring out your competitive side. Competition, like being competitive, is looked at as being like a bad thing in this modern society, but I look at it completely at the opposite. If you can be competitive and push in every area of your life, whether that be relationships, whether that be fitness, health, whether that be finances, whether that be at work, trying to get to the next position at your work. And this is why I titled the video, Why I Hate James Smith. I've got absolutely no hate whatsoever towards James Smith. I know a lot of people love and hate him. He is a bit like Marmite. His views are very outlandish, but I do like him. I actually owe him a lot of credit, because if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be doing what I was doing now, because back in 2020, I believe, I was on a building site, and some girl that I was talking to at the time actually introduced me to his podcast. And I was listening to his podcast, and it gave me the inspiration to actually do my PT stuff. And then obviously Married at First Sight came along, and then off the back of that I launched my online coaching, and that's exactly what I'm doing now. So I owe a lot of credit to him. But in a weird way, like I look at these other fitness people high up in the space, like James Smith is a great example of that, and I always think, do you know what? like I can be as good as them, and I can push, I can work as hard, and I can produce better content, I can coach people better, I can get better results, I can look better than them. Like all these kind of things, it drives me, and that is frowned upon in today's day and age. And I'm here to tell you, like, bring out your competitive side, whether that be like with someone at work, you don't even have to tell them you're competing with them, whether that be, for example, another great example. So I'm like, me and my mates are doing like a golfing weekend every single year. We're going up to Northumberland and we play golf. And we're having like a competitive edge to it. There's no competition involved with it, but still I want to get better this year. So when it comes to next year, I can play better. And that sort of thing, like if you can harness that competition and put that into something, such a powerful force to actually use in life. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop the like, comment, and see you on the next one. And subscribe.